kicking long field goals. Back deep for Dallas, they've got, for Green Bay, they've got Bo Melton and Savion Williams, the rookie. See a familiar face there, Michael Irvin getting the crowd cranked up as we are set to go. Much anticipated meeting. Cowboys and Packers. Glad you're with us. Off we go from Arlington. Taken back at the 1-yard line. And Bo Melton gets past the 20. The Packers will start right across the 30-yard line with their offense. That we'll be watching closely. Both offensive lines are missing good players, including the Packers missing 2 starting offensive linemen. Left guard Aaron Banks, the right tackle Zach Tom, and this front struggled at Cleveland last week. Josh Jacobs is the back from the 31. The first toss from Love to Jacobs on the edge. Gets about 4 to the 35-yard line. Kaiir Elam showed him the sideline. Year 3 for Jordan Love as the starter. Under 200 yards passing in 2 of his first 3 games this year. This is a guy who's taken the Packers to the playoffs in both of his full-time starting seasons, including a playoff win here. Dominant performance back in January of 2024. Pick up a 4, 2nd and 6. Inside, there's no place to go. Osa Odigizua off the front for the Cowboys. Traps Jacobs for a loss of a couple.
Tremendous play that time by Osa. Just going to shoot the gap right in here and land in the backfield. That was a slow developing kind of play. Tried to pull 2 people in behind it. And Osa said, I don't think so. So now comes an interesting point here, Mike. We have seen the Dallas Cowboys be a zone, very heavy team. More zone than any team in the league. They have vowed that they're going to start delivering some pressure. Let's see. Here they come.
Here comes some pressure. Picked up for the moment. Love taking the shot. 2 receivers, same area. Who's got it? The rookie Golden does at the 22-yard line. Dontavian Wicks and the rookie Matthew Golden were same place, same town, and Golden got it for a big game.
Yeah, and they're both open. They're just going to come down here. It's one thing if you let one receiver get open in that part of the field. It's another when both of them are wide open, and that has been what has destroyed the Dallas Cowboys. You can talk about Micah Parsons all you want. You cannot give up the number of big plays this defense has.
Especially a team like you were saying, playing so much zone, it doesn't figure. 46 on that one. Out quick to the tight end, Tucker Kraft. He'll pick up about 8 yards, just shy of the 15-yard line for a very good developing tight end out of South Dakota State.
So the problem they have is they don't have the pass rushers to really come after the quarterback, right? So you go, all right, you got to blitz then. You got to blitz. They don't have the corners right now healthy enough to play man. So about the only thing they have left are some zone blitzes where they're going to bring people from one side, 4 to one side, drop out, then drop into some zones because they are very limited in what they can do right now.
The dilemma for Matt Eberflus. On 2nd down, Jacobs cannot get to the outside out of Boston College. Good-looking defensive rookie Donovan Ezeraku in on the tackle.
Ezeraku, one of those draft picks that is pure speed, and I think that one of the goals is to try and get some more speed on the field. One of the
pick in the draft, first team All-America is there's no Micah Parsons for pass rush. That's a guy they hope will be part of the collective unit to get in the backfield. 3rd and 5. Bring it 4 here. Little slip screen. Kraft first down and more inside the 10 to the goal line. Just short. It'll be 1st and goal as Tucker Kraft takes it inside the 1.
Well, they're trying to play some man coverage on the outside, but as they all divided, pretty good punch out there, almost got that ball out.
Packers jumped the ball quick, but then move as they were trying to get Dallas.
Offense number 75, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Sean Ryan, the right guard, moved. So 1st and goal back up to just outside the 5.
And that was one of the issues they had in Cleveland a week ago when they got beat in that game. Of course, that was their first road game of the season. They had issues with the crowd noise, and here we are on the first drive. 5 different times they had penalties just trying to get the ball snapped, and one already.
first and goal. It's Dontavian Wicks in motion for Jordan Love. Jacobs inside. Gets it down to the 2-yard line. Second and goal from there.
It is bizarre that all the talk that we've been doing about Micah Parsons and all the different things, this game may well be decided by the backup offensive lineman. And should any of these linemen get hurt, we're going to see some people playing in this game up front that basically have no experience.
It's early in the season, but a lot of different offensive line combinations, as you see right there, for Green Bay after having a pretty solid group across the front 5 last year. Second and goal. Love looking quick towards Romeo Doubs. Held on. Touchdown, Green Bay. Working on Duran Bland. Doubs and the Packers find the end zone.
Just a great release move at the line of scrimmage. Watch this little double shimmy shake and out. And once you get that rebound position, nothing Bland could do. Terrific opening drive by the Green Bay Packers, who were not in a good mood after the thumping they took at the hands of that Browns defense a week ago.
They were not. Matt LaFleur was annoyed with the way the offense looked.
In particular, his offensive line.
Yep, good job there. The extra point added by Brandon McManus. 8 plays, kick towards the corner and keep the ball out of his hands. One of the best in the league. Get a start from the 1-yard line. Slow play, looking for a place to accelerate. Nothing there. Dallas takes over at their own 28, and here they are. As well as they've gone up against him. Micah sauntered his way out there, lining up opposite Dak as the Cowboys begin their opening drive from the 28. Monte Williams trying to turn the corner. Quay Walker, the speedy, good receiver for the linebacker, I should say, for the Packers, over there to make the stop to the 31. It's a gain of 3. So Dak Prescott settling in here with a new coach, but a system that kind of a holdover because Brian Schottenheimer was here as the offensive coordinator. A lot of throws, 42 attempts a game, 3 touchdowns, but 3 picks thus far in the first 3. Gain of 3 for Williams, second and 7. Ferguson to block. Williams slams it inside for another 2 or 3 yards. It'll set up about 3rd and 4 on this opening Dallas drive.
And the Dallas Cowboys know they have problems with this game from the standpoint of trying to block these guys. And it's very difficult to get the ball behind the Green Bay Packers, unlike the Cowboys. And so the game is going to be Dak Prescott as point guard. He's going to be getting the ball out very quickly. And these 3rd and 5s, he is not going to let Micah Parsons get started if he can help it.
And they'll run it. Williams. Walker sprints there and gets him. His speed is difference-making. He and Javon Bullard, who's back from the concussion, forced Dallas off the field after a very quick 3 and out.
Well, the one thing you will always see are these linebackers just flying around the field. They have tremendous speed, both of them. 4.5 speed on the linebacker position. Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper. And first big play of the game on offense, they run away from Micah Parsons.
Matthew Golden, the rookie who caught that long pass, is new as a punt returner this year. Brian Anger hangs it high. Golden slides over, makes a fair catch at the 15-yard line. She's number 17 for the Cowboys here. Drive 2 for Jordan Love and the Packers. First one was terrific. Ending in a Romeo Doubs touchdown. And Love 5 for 5 on the first drive, keeps it perfect with Doubs. 16 to the 31, Jack Sanborn, the Dallas tackle.
Yeah, you're going to go a little bootleg away, and you'll see the linebackers at this level just moving in the wrong direction, and this wide open space is in behind this cover 2 defense. So they're sort of bouncing back and forth between what they know how to play, what they've practiced since training camp, which is a lot of these zone defenses, and probably what they have to get to, which are some more pressure looks, and it's uncomfortable already.
It's in motion. Jacobs Up to the 38 against the beleaguered Dallas defense. Or trying to get some help in. That's what they're counting on from Jadeveon Clowney, the former #1 overall pick, who is in the Dallas lineup on this drive, making his Cowboys debut and being run around on the edges. Golden gets to the outside, tackled by Sanborn, couple past the first down marker, and Green Bay will move the chains again.
And the Green Bay Packers really desperate to get their running game going. They were really disappointed with what that was a week ago. Josh Jacobs under 2 yards a carry, which I'm not sure he's ever been that in a game. But they will continue to run as long as you see the 2 deep safeties in the back, Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, playing back. And they almost have to, Mike, because of the number of big plays that they keep giving up.
Play action, Love, time, and the throw is incomplete. Hit the ground for Dobbs at the 40-yard line. First incompletion of the night for Love. And he had another wide open receiver too.
Well, when you play zone defenses, the major issue you have is if you don't get pressure, zones get stretched. So if your zone is getting stretched 50 yards vertically, the holes in the zone are just too big. They can't fill them with defenders. And right now, the pass rush isn't getting there, and the zones are getting stretched.
You just saw the numbers, are 93% of the snaps, so you know what you're planning for coming in, and everybody in this league can find a way to answer a zone. 2nd and 10, turning upfield was Wicks. Jacobs carries, and a half dozen there to bring him down right around midfield. We do have a penalty marker down. Heard from Ron Torbert earlier.
Holding. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. 2-second down.
It's on Jordan Morgan. As we talked about the rework of that offensive front for Green Bay, Morgan's bounced around to a couple of spots already this year.
Yeah, Jordan Morgan's been all over the place. He's been out playing the right tackle position. Of course, everybody on the team's been playing right tackle. They played 4 out there already. But this is now when the Dallas Cowboys have a chance. When offenses make mistakes, you have to be able to capitalize and get off the field here.
Emmanuel Wilson, second string back for the Pack, in on 2nd and long. 1 of 5 in the pattern for Love, who is escaping, being chased, and was thrown to the bench as the pressure from Sam Williams was all over him. 3rd down coming up. Here's Melissa.
Yeah, Mike, Deron Bland, who was beaten on the Packers touchdown, he missed the last 2 games with a right foot injury. He will be on a snap count tonight to play about 40-ish plays. He told me it's a matter of dealing with pain. He said it's been very hard to watch the secondary struggling, especially when he couldn't be on the field, but that he hoped his presence and his communication and his leadership would make a difference tonight. We'll see what he can do.
Right foot bothering him. The left foot is what kept him out a lot last year. Meantime, Trevon Diggs, their terrific corner from a couple of years ago, still struggling to get back on the field as well. 3rd down, underneath throw is complete and very close to the 1st down, but finally stopped. Is a good-looking speedster. It's Savion Williams, who's another piece on this Packers team. Sets up 4th and 2, and we'll see what LaFleur will do.
Beautiful hit that time by Donovan Wilson, and you're right, Williams is one of those guys. He's 6'5" and 215, and when he gets running this way, it takes somebody as strong as Donovan Wilson to knock him backwards, but here we go.
Packer offense stays out for 4th and a couple.
They've got speed in the game, and they'll likely get some one-on-ones if they want to throw it.
Play clock out. Delay is called. Punting unit coming on.
Delay game. By the offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
How many times do we see it? It's one play in a drive. A holding penalty changes the feel of everything in a drive, and that put Green Bay behind the sticks.
And a young player that was the one holding. And they really like Jordan Morgan. He's a 1st-round pick a year ago, and he's been bouncing around and playing a lot of different positions. But what they really need is the guy who's back to return this punt to get hot, not just on punt returns and kickoff returns. In this offense, he is the explosive element on this football team. Let's see if he can get anything going.
Monte Turpin awaits. Danny Willen punt. Hit high. Forced to make the fair catch at 10-yard line. Such a few weeks in these parts. Drive 2 for the Cowboys starts at the 11. And Prescott on the boot gets it out. This looks a lot like last week where Jake Ferguson was very busy. Gain of 7 against the Green Bay defense. Points, no touchdowns allowed the first 3 quarters of each game thus far this year. 2nd and 3. Prescott back to the air and inside is complete. Did he hear you as Michael was coming in there?
I don't know if he heard me or not.
First down, Dallas.
That's the first breakout there for Micah Parsons. Watch this move around the edge. Barely gets stopped at all, even with a little bit of a chip. And so that is what Dak is going to have to do tonight. I mean, there just isn't any doubt. So far in this game where they've had a little success, they've run away from him, they've bootlegged away from him.
22-yard line. Side run, Williams for 4. Is that point guard thing you were talking about in that first drive of why Dak really has to be a distributor tonight?
Yeah, but John Stockton never got hit like that.
Yeah, I know he did. No, he did.
I mean, yeah, point guard's true. But, yeah, so he knows, and I've always believed this. The great quarterbacks, they're the ones that don't take sacks. Offensive line has something to do with it, and I don't want to make it out to be anything crazy, but veteran quarterbacks know what's going on around them. And when they're under pressure, you can't take a sack. You take a sack, it's like a holding call. You can't get anything going on the drive.
2nd and 5. Jalen Tolbert is moving. Prescott's got some time. Throwing in the middle. Incomplete and broken up. Beautiful job. Keyshawn Nixon coming across to deny the completion to Cavante Turpin.
This is the man coverage that the Cowboys haven't been able to play, and Keyshawn Nixon is their best coverage guy on the outside. Very consistent. It doesn't matter. One of the quickest guys in the league in Cavante Turpin, and he's right there.
That's who they're missing. CeeDee Lamb, the high ankle sprain on a running play last week. He's out for a little bit for Dallas. Such a threat changes how the defense game plans. Missing for the Cowboys. 3rd down. Prescott to Ferguson, yard shy, and can't get there for the first down. Pulled back. You hear a lot of cheeseheads cheering. There are a bunch of Packer fans in the house tonight. Hobbs and Walker stop him. It's 4th down.
Yeah, and you see a little bit of that zone blitz right there out of the Green Bay defense that I think eventually we're going to see out of the Cowboys. So 4th down, and I think Shoddy knows what he's dealing with here tonight.
Parsons comes out. They have the proper 11 on the field. See if they try to bluff him into an offsides. We get a whistle here and a timeout taken by Green Bay.
First yards timeout. Green Bay.
Trying to get themselves safe and smart and organized. As Micah Parsons came off the field at the first sight of Dallas going for it on 4th down. They're saying hi to the guy with the down marker and all these guys. It's a weird homecoming in so many ways for Micah Parsons here tonight, and I think we're all watching every move he makes to see what kind of an impact he'll have on the game.
And very respectful when he came out. There were a bit of cheers, as you would expect. It really wasn't on him so much what happened, and we'll get into the whole soap opera here as we go along. But this is the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a couple of moments here early in the game where they've had some chances. I hope they do go for this. We'll see.
Parsons on the sideline. Cowboys still line up on 4th and 1.
Here we go. It's on. And here we go. Core. Core. Move core. Move core. See it a little bit. Turn. Yeah. Here we go. Good.
And there you have it. It's become a constant in watching teams
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
Around the league, just trying to get somebody just to lose it for a half second, get that free first down out of it.
Well, and who knows, maybe that has a little something to do with who they have in the game and who they don't have in the game. Tyler Booker is their rookie right guard, and maybe they had that powerhouse in there, they would have taken a shot. But, yeah.
Anger to kick it again. Matthew Golden. First time Golden catching punts in an indoor stadium, plus you have the roof open and the big scoreboards. Just a bunch of things in your eye line as you try to eye the anchor kick, which is 44, and he got away from it. And then the bounce, he took it to the 25-yard line, sprinting past Sanborn to the edge, and he'll run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Up at the half, Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. Drive three for the Packers. Love, swing it out. Emmanuel Wilson's got a convoy. Wilson into Cowboy territory, all the way down to the 42-yard line. 26 on the game.
Yeah, the old throwback screen, gonna fake it, roll this way, and get the ball out here on the outside. And you will see the Green Bay Packers. They are one of those teams that will do just about anything. And Love loves that little fadeaway jumper, doesn't he?
Yes.
He kind of bounces in the pocket like Muhammad Ali or something. Very athletic looking guy, and loves making some of those exotic throws.
131 yards in the opening quarter, best of his career from the 43. Side run now with Emmanuel Wilson out of Fort Valley State to the 38-yard line. 5 plays already of 15 yards or more in the pass game for Green Bay, and we're only in the first quarter. That's a big number for any quarter.
Yeah, it's tough when not only are you getting beat over the top, but they're also taking short throws and able to run and break some of those too.
See if Pack will squeeze one in here. They will not. This first quarter will come to an end dominated. It's extraordinary. If you're in these parts, come check it out. Quarter 2 begins. Emmanuel Wilson's run for a yard. That is it. It'll be second down. Chris, we're getting comfortable now with Jordan Love. The 3 years of the apprenticeship waiting, and now as he rushes to the line, his 3rd year as the Pack's starting QB, trying to catch Dallas with an extra player out there as he sets up and throws sideline end. It is intercepted by Diggs. There's a flag down, though, on that far side as the Cowboys were trying to clear and get the players off the field.
There may have been too many people on the field.
2 were sprinting. 1 clearly got off. The second was close.
The second one was trying to get over in coverage. They had screwed up the defense, and you'll see, get my bearing straight here. The first one's going off the field. This is a coverage thing. They're trying to get over there. They didn't have anybody to guard him.
Great play by Diggs to get the
12
pick.
players on the field on the defense. The 12th player did not get off the field prior to the snap. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
A little wrinkle there by Matt LaFleur. Get him to the line quick, catch Dallas in personnel. They get caught with the line change, if you will, and Green Bay's got a first down.
Jordan Love that time tried one of those little fadeawayers and paid the price for it.
But maybe he was thinking he had a free play.
I think you're right. And they actually do look. When the guy's going off the field, he knew whether or not that was going to be an opportunity or not. So why not?
So first down for the Packers. They've got 7. The Cowboys have got 1. Into the hands of Savion Williams trying to turn the corner. Dallas is waiting for that. And again, only a yard with Kenneth Murray on the tackle. So let's talk a little bit about Jordan Love and just settling in to the job.
Yeah, I think he's been terrific. And, you know, he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Brett Favre. Those are 2 of the most unique personalities in the history of the NFL. Yeah. Jordan Love just fits in with everybody. He just got married. He feels everybody's comfortable around him. He doesn't yell and scream. But they do say when he talks, everybody shuts up and listens.
Favre in the house tonight. He's watching. That pass is completed for a short game with Luke Musgrave as he gets his 4th catch of the season. It's such a specter because of the 2 Hall of Famers in Favre and to be a Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers, who got the win for the Steelers over in Dublin today. That's a lot to take over. And when we saw Rodgers, he had some of Favre's stuff because he was around. And Jordan Love's got a little bit of that nuanced stuff that he learned from being around Aaron Rodgers, but he's his own guy now.
He's 27.
That magic age of those other 2 winning Super Bowls for the Packers. 3rd and 2. Showing pressure to run into it. Jacobs got the first down at the 21-yard line. Josh Jacobs able to make a man miss. Keep this drive going for Green Bay.
Goodness, they have the perfect blitz on. I don't know what you do. You're Matt Eberflus. They're going right there, and the ball's going right there. You got to be able to win that one.
Solomon Thomas, the man there, had the initial contact, bounced right off of Thomas. Laurie couldn't chase him down. Of course, when Eberflus was head coach of the Bears, going up against LaFleur and the Packers often, so great familiarity here tonight. Love off the spot, had to move. The flag is down as the catch is made on the far side by Tucker Kraft, but where the protection was breaking down, a flag came down.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Darian Kennard, you mentioned the revolving door at right tackle so far for Green Bay.
4 different guys playing that right tackle position, and you'll see that he's going to get beat to the inside and just grabbed Williams on that play. And it definitely was a foul, and it definitely would have been a sack had he not held. So maybe it was a good thing, protect the quarterback.
Zach Tom has an oblique injury. He's the right tackle, and a good one, as a matter of fact. Played last week, but only played 1 snap and then came out. So there you see Kennard, Morgan, part of the moving pieces up front. Chris Brooks in traffic. No gain. Ozzie Smith. He spent the first couple of games inactive for Dallas. Back in the lineup last couple of weeks. Makes a play there to finish it off.
Well, we have an offensive lineman with a hold and an offensive lineman with a tackle. That was Sean Ryan's coming out on the screen, and you see the cut there. And sometimes that just happens. You try and get in front.
So 2nd and long here for Green Bay. Last time they had a drive going, a holding penalty, short-circuited that. Even with that, it's been dominant for the Packers in the first 18 minutes of this one. 2 backs, Jacobs and Brooks in the game. They're both left. Love flips it out to one of them. Jacobs with Brooks as a blocker. Down the sideline. Jacobs towards the goal line. It'll be 1st and goal, Green Bay at the 1.
That was gorgeous. That was absolutely beautiful by Jordan Love. I said he wasn't like Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. Maybe I'm wrong. That was a beauty right there on the fly to have the presence, draw the defense up to him, flip it out, and almost in the end zone. Very nice. And maybe that's a lateral.
It is a rush for 28 yards to the 1 for the moment, as they mark it in the scorebooks. 1st and goal for Green Bay. And Love, slant, Dobbs, touchdown. Romeo's tuned for the 2nd time tonight.
The Green Bay Packers wideouts have some of the best moves off the line of scrimmage you will ever see. Remember the move to the fade to the back of the end zone? Come right back the next time with the slant. I'm going to guess that basically Dobbs is allowed to do whatever he wants because nobody ever covers him on that play. That is another tremendous drive. And give Jordan Love credit. That play was special.
McManus has the extra point blocked, and the Cowboys trying to take it back for 2 with Marquise Bell. So Dallas on the board with a 2-pointer off the blocked extra point. Remember the field goal block late in regulation last week as Green Bay scored the touchdown, but the Cowboys come up with the defensive 2-point play, and from a couple deep, Turpin will bring it out. Devontae Turpin trying to find space, runs into his own man, and will be stopped at the 29-yard line. We have 2 penalty flags down on the play. Cowboys have not had great field position to start either one of their drives. And this will be a third in that same category. As they're sorting, by the way, the extra point missed by McManus. He had made 93 straight until that block. He had the longest stretch of PAT makes in the league until it happened. Ron Torbert doing some sorting. Reverend Spanford has been a good special teamer involved there.
There were 2 fouls during the play, both by the receiving team. Illegal block in the back, receiving team number 14. That penalty is declined. Holding, receiving team number 35. That penalty will be accepted. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Dallas's ball, 1st and 10.
Long field deficit feeds right into Micah Parsons. That's the headline story. Chris, as we've talked to so many people involved all month, really, it's a story of missed opportunities to get a deal done between the Cowboys and Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons, whether it was the offseason, the draft season, the preseason and training camp, even at the very end, right before the deal. Both sides had a chance and just didn't get it done.
Does the word sad apply at all to this? Because I don't get the feeling that either one of them wanted this to happen. And it just sort of kept getting deeper and deeper, and there were little cuts here and little cuts there and little offenses here and there.
Miles Sanders the run there for 3 yards.
And, you know, Jerry as the lead negotiator, right, gets in there, and he thought he had a deal made. And there's no doubt. Steven was in. Steven gave him a little bit more. We got the deal done. We've done deals like this in the past. And yet, here was an agent sitting on the outside, and he wasn't happy about it. So the emotions kept getting deeper and deeper.
2nd and 7, Prescott trying a sideline shot here towards Pickens. It is broken up and incomplete. Nate Hobbs there in coverage. Flag back by the line of scrimmage. This will be the 8th flag accepted, if accepted here. Preliminaries are holding on Dallas.
Offense, number 73. Penalties half the distance to the goal.
See, now we're thinking about declining it.
Green Bay has elected to decline that foul. Be 3rd down.
Yeah, and I guess the final cut really came at the end of the whole thing, when Micah Parsons was given permission to go out and try and strike a deal with whoever. And basically, I think he was sort of backing out, and he was like, let me call Jerry. Let me do one more try here, see what happens. Let's give this one more shot. And Jerry sent him an email, basically said, you either get ready for Philadelphia, get your uniform on, come to practice, or go on to Green Bay.
Prescott hit as he throws. He's able to find Turpin. Flag is down as Turpin is brought down at the 38-yard line. His flag is thrown at the line of scrimmage. That pressure, those linebackers with their speed coming in. Edgerrin Cooper getting in there. Flag thrown at the 15-yard line.
Illegal formation. Offense number 71 was lined up in the backfield. The 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
There's Nate Thomas, who is now in there for the Cowboys up front.
There you go. There's the belt line of the center, right? And that's what he has to have, the helmet across that belt line. And look at the shot that Dak Prescott's going to take on this one. And when you get behind this team, you're going to get more and more and more pressure. And 3rd and long, Micah Parsons is licking his chops.
3rd and 12, so they'll run it with Hunter Lipke. Let's get to the 16-yard line. That's it. So Parsons popped over to the left side of the Packers defense, right side of the Cowboys offense, because Nate Thomas is in there at left tackle. The man who just got that penalty call a moment ago. So Dallas dealing with stuff up front and the changing personnel. And they have 1 first down to show for their first 3 drives.
Yeah, and, you know, Brian Schottenheimer talked about that. He was like, yeah, we want to protect this, and we want to help our tackle, and we want to do that. But you can't play scared. right? You're playing the Green Bay Packers. They're going to score points too. And so far, it hasn't been offensive enough for the Cowboys here.
Brian Anger kicks. Matthew Golden awaits. No interesting catch in the last one. Running up late on that 46-yarder and got tagged by Maris Leofow. Cowboy bench erupts as Leofow on special teams comes up with the huge hit, and somehow Golden held on. He will be. He will be out there. I promise you that. Excited to have him. Run by
without any pressure. That's what you're going to get.
Our next gen stats powered by AWS. Love out quick again. Golden got away from Ezeraku and Leofow, but Ezeraku waiting for him. That's a big loss with a flag at the back end. It's a loss of 7 on the play, and then that flag comes in, and we'll see if that was what happened afterwards.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 41. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Watch this. We've got Terry McCauley, our rules analyst, with us as well. I wonder if it has to do with driving him in the ground here. Let's watch the end of the play, and we'll see what Terry thought. It's a great pursuit.
Oh, yeah. There it is, Mike. A little punch in the head.
Okay, so that's
what it was. No, he's not a quarterback, so he's not protected from the driving.
I was going to say,
it's that little shot.
Every rule I know is gone if that's a foul. But there was the punch. Yep. Thank God.
That's the continued problem here for Dallas. Penalty number 5. A little double action here as it's thrown back from Williams to Love. Cowboys covered it downfield, so Love takes off. And he'll pick up about 3 yards inside the 47-yard line on that play.
Former quarterback out there, right? Savion Williams.
Yes, sir.
They've got the play all set up because they have run they've run a lot of different things with him in the backfield and trying to get him the ball, but he also knows how to throw it. So you knew something eventually, especially around midfield, right? That's when all the gimmicks seem to come out.
Savion Williams out of TCU. Fans here might remember he threw a pass in his college days. You go back to his high school days, and he was a quarterback as well. So all that for 4 yards, and now Jacobs. Osa Odigizua hanging on. Gained a couple of yards. I know Josh Jacobs now in year 7 out of Alabama is a back you like, Chris. He's really fit into Green Bay's style and system as well.
Well, and he's a guy, he's a power runner. He's been around. He is the unquestioned leader. This is a very young football team. And when you talk about who's the leader out there on this offense, it is Josh Jacobs. But again, the Packers have not run the football like we're used to seeing them run the football.
13 for 32 yards thus far tonight after the struggles in Cleveland a week ago. Cowboys bring some pressure. Love putting it up top into coverage and incomplete. But Dallas had everything synced on the front and the back end that time. And the punting unit comes on for Green Bay with an injury there to Malik Hooker, one of the 2 starting safeties for Dallas. And that doesn't look good at all.
The good news was they ran one of those zone blitzes we were talking about, and it worked. So maybe they have something to hang their hat on now. I've seen them run that defense occasionally, and it seems to work really well for them. I'm just surprised we don't see more.
Daniel Whelan to kick. Houston does a very good job of pinning the opponents back inside the 10. Turpin gets away. The bounce is perfect. And the tightrope is walked by Kingsley Enagbare. And the Cowboys will have a long field to deal with. 5 yards. Prescott slant. There's a good-looking play. Complete to George Pickens. Slides into wide receiver number 1 slot with the injury to CeeDee Lamb. First down at the 19.
Yeah, an aggressive approach right off the goal line. And Pickens really has to be able to take over for CeeDee Lamb now. It is tough because with Lamb, they can move him to almost every position. With Pickens, because he's a new guy, they tried to just leave him at the X position and not move him as much so he could learn the offense quicker. And yet it sort of limits them in many ways because they don't have CD.
Came over in the trade from the Steelers and swing this out. Miles Sanders. Lipke got a bit of a block, and Sanders takes it for 8 until Quay Walker stops his progress.
And the one place that Dallas has had some success is when they can get their running game going and when they get Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams the ball. They're both talented guys. They do great things in space. But yeah, they just need to break out here a little bit.
Parsons on the sideline, played about a half, 2/3, and then 3/4 of the snaps in the first 3 games for the Packers. Javonte Williams, hard running, gets a first down across the 30 to the 33-yard line as Jake Ferguson, for University of Wisconsin man, takes that block all the way into the bench area. Was it Ferguson or Spanford? Let's see who was over there. I'm not sure. Whoever was rolling got it rolling. There is a penalty marker down. Again, 9 accepted penalties in this first half. 5 on Dallas, 4 on Green Bay.
There were fouls by both teams during the play. Holding. Offense number 73. After the play was over, personal foul, face mask. Defense number 25. Those penalties offset. Repeat second down.
All right, so back to second and short for this Cowboys offense that needs something to happen positively as we get towards halftime.
We were talking to Micah Parsons a little bit about his days with Dallas, and of course he knows all these offensive linemen, right? He's competed against all of them. And I was like, anybody you particularly want to go against? He goes, yeah, I don't really care. Maybe not Tyler Smith. Strongest hands I've ever been around.
First round pick now in year 4. The left guard has found a home with that spot on the interior. We go right back to Williams. Gets that first down at the 33-yard line. You
mentioned not lose, and now I think they're trying to win.
Williams. Yards, 35-yard line. The second and about 8. Javonte Williams, his first 4 years in Denver, at rookie year, was a big splash, tore his ACL. Sometimes, as you often hear, it takes a few years to get back, and it feels like he's back to that style and that punishing running that we saw his first year.
It really does, and we got a chance to talk with him, and he felt like that too. Just that he is not thinking about anything to do with that knee anymore, and he was fantastic when he was a young player in this league. He made some of the great runs we've seen.
Parsons back in. Second and 8. He sees a double team. Still getting close to Prescott, who completes it for the first down to Ryan Flanoy at the 47-yard line. So Flanoy went to 3 different schools, finished at Southeast Missouri State. Moves into a bigger role because of the Lamb injury.
Kind of interesting here. You're going to see this thing is covered initially, and then Edgerrin Cooper is going to have Flanoy and then goes, oh, I'm going to go get the other guy, and left him wide open. And all of a sudden the Cowboys have a first down. And that was a result of protection. He did have time, which allowed all that to happen.
This Dallas drive of the night started at their own 5. Play action, Prescott trying to screen it. There goes Sanders. It's the 45-yard line, couple shy of a first down as we approach the 2-minute warning. And Dallas has moved it 50 yards.
Yeah, and stay no huddle here, which is a good idea. You've got Micah Parsons on the sideline. Let's leave him there.
Devontae Wyatt, first-round pick.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, out of Georgia, first-round pick back in 2022. Banged up his knee against Cleveland. Is slow to get up, and the athletic training staff and the Packers out there to look at him. There's number 95.
Really good player, really is. He was a first-round draft pick and a couple of sacks already, second to Rashawn Gary. He is a very important part of this very good defense.
And we've mentioned a couple of times the man who was traded for Parsons, Kenny Clark, comes off that defensive front in Green Bay, and that's one place where the depth changes a little bit. Kenny Clark was a veteran presence on that team in addition to his ability run stopping.
Well, and I think that's something we should talk about a little bit, is that Kenny Clark came over here, and he's a good pass rusher, but they were really hoping he could help what has been a really bad run defense of the Dallas Cowboys, and he has done that. They are middle of the pack now. They are not bad at all.
That was a we have to have him in the trade portion of the Parsons deal that doesn't get discussed much at all.
Yeah, and which was interesting because at one point I was thinking if Green Bay was going to sign Micah Parsons at that big contract, they were going to have to dump some contract, and maybe it was Green Bay that wanted Kenny Clark in the deal, and everybody was like, no, no, no. Dallas Cowboys insisted on Clark being in.
This Green Bay franchise is a draft and develop group. As Clark moves on, guys like Wyatt are expected to be those veteran presence players inside. It's Brian Gutekunst on the left-hand side, general manager of this Packers team. Ed Policy is on the right. He is the new president and CEO, replacing Mark Murphy, who served in that role with great distinction for 19 years. Mark Murphy, and to have the whole football night team with us here in Arlington. 2-minute warning here. Best drive of the night for the Cowboys. Second and a couple. And Dak Prescott gives Miles Sanders with the first down at the 40-yard line. Remember, Dallas gets the ball to start the second half. So as bad as it has looked, Dallas might be very much in this game if they can manage the last 100 seconds or so.
Well, and we're seeing them run the football. I mean, Javonte Williams has been tremendous this year, averaging 5.3 yards per carry. Miles Sanders, better than that, 6.1. So why not stay with it?
Play action here. Prescott looking left, and he's got it. Pickens at the 28-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Cowboys.
And that works, Mike, because what you've done now is you've established the run. They go play action off of it, slow down the pass rush, and those linebackers stepped up instead of going back into the passing lanes that time.
And the clock still runs. A minute to go. Dallas would love to keep it out of Love's hands. 29. Prescott putting it up for Pickens. Safety coming over. Did Pickens bring that down? Remarkable stuff. He got it. Oh, wow. CD loves it too. First and goal, Cowboys.
Let's see, does he get it done? The catch, did the knee land first? Well, the first foot was down, and then the second toe got down, didn't it? Let's see.
Yeah, you're right. Game not stopped in the last 2 minutes. The replay booth would have to stop it. They do not. First and goal for Dallas. Play clock running down. Give to Williams inside. Nothing doing there. And a timeout taken by Green Bay and Matt LaFleur. He gets one first. And Schottenheimer's looking at a timeout as well. Back to the catch by George Pickens.
The only way to make that play is to catch and then let your body go completely limp. You could see those pellets flying from both his right and left foot. That is so brilliant to take a hit like that and get both those feet down. Just remarkable.
And the concentration with the safety, Anderson flying over and making contact at his arms too.
Couldn't you just see him though? He made the catch and everything went totally limp on his body. You just got to count on gravity to get him down, and CD said, that's my boy right there. There you go.
So as we said, despite being outplayed for the better part of 26 minutes, Dallas very much in this game if they can punch it in. Second and goal. Prescott going to keep it. Quarterback draw for the touchdown.
Let's put it in the Wayback Machine. Remember when Dak Prescott was a young quarterback? He would do this all the time. Not only did he make a good play, but he also set up the block there so that Edger and Cooper ended up on the bad side. And Dak told us, he said, I've got to do that. You know, I went through a whole year. I couldn't run. I had the hamstring. I couldn't do that. I have to do more of that. There it is. Huge play for the Cowboys.
Brandon Aubrey for the extra point. It is a 4-point game. In his first 3 years, he had 6 rushing touchdowns in good weather games. That ball bounces in the landing area and then is taken by the Packers in the end zone, and perfectly done by Brandon Aubrey.
Yep. So now any advantage in field position you might have gotten is no more because that kick was perfect.
So Green Bay, with just 1 timeout left, takes the ball at the 20-yard line. That's the kicks that everyone's trying to focus on. The Rams and Carolina are 2 of the best in the league at it right now. And Aubrey able to execute it perfectly.
But we see teams lose games because they can't. Arizona, right? That game the other night.
Yep. Arizona-Seattle Thursday night game. So Green Bay 1 timeout, 41 seconds. Lead shrunk to 4. Deep drop for Love, looking to hang it up deep. Everything was covered. Must have come down to the check down, and Jacobs was covered. Good coverage on the back end by the Cowboys, and they forced Love to get rid of it.
And I don't think they would take timeouts yet, but remember who the Dallas Cowboys have as their kicker.
Just thinking that.
You know,
yeah, right, yeah.
So now the Green Bay Packers have to think, you know, what exactly we want to do here.
Thinking if you can stop them 3 and out, get a punt, you might be a play away from being in Brandon Aubrey's field goal range. A lot of things ahead. Love another deep drop. He fires across the middle, nearly intercepted. Incomplete. A step away from a catch with Dobbs, with Donovan Wilson cutting underneath. Almost took it away.
Yeah, it was almost a step away from points on the board for Green Bay as well. Wilson's had a couple of big plays, 1 big tackle in this one, and then comes up with this one. But sometimes you try to make that interception, the receiver cuts underneath you and makes a big play.
To point out, with the injury earlier to Malik Hooker, Wan'Dale Thomas is in at safety along with Wilson for the Cowboys. Play clock running down here, 3rd and 10.
If the Packers do not pick up this first down, Cowboys take their timeout right now.
Love, slide it to Tucker Kraft, who's chopped down, but he's got a first down across the 30-yard line to the 32 with 19 seconds left. Final timeout taken by Green Bay. Pack trying to add points. We're back in 30 seconds after
taking its toll on this Dallas defense. Big moments, 3rd and 10 to hit a screen. Everybody's yelling to watch the screen, watch the draw, and they're still hitting them.
Packers out of timeouts. They need about 25 yards to get into the McManus field goal range. Have a false start here. There'll be no time run off because the clock was not running.
False start.
Here,
False
Ron.
start.
Gotcha, man.
Offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down. Because the clock was not running, there is no 10-second runoff.
Injury update with Melissa.
Mike, you mentioned safety Malik Hooker. He is questionable to return with a toe injury. We saw him being helped off the field, the athletic training staff looking at that left foot. He then limped up and down the sideline, hugging his teammates before going into the x-ray room. He has not returned to the field.
This toe injury is going to be so difficult to come back from. 1st and 15. Love had the ball knocked out. It is loose. Cowboys have 2 there, including to Devian Clowney, and Dallas has it. It's in the hands of James Houston as he and Clowney were there trying to recover it, and the Cowboys have a chance with 13 seconds left. Game's first turnover.
One of the things that the Dallas Cowboys felt like with Jordan Love, he's a little loose with the ball. You see that long extension, and there is Houston to knock it out. He has not played a lot, but he has had an impact when he's had his chances.
Chris, he had that unbelievable run in 2022 at the Lions. He had 8 sacks in 7 games, and then virtually nothing after that for a couple of years. Comes in, 2nd sack here as a Cowboy. Had one in the game against the Giants. Comes up with the ball at the 15-yard line now with 13 seconds and timeouts. Dallas can take a few shots at the end zone. Adjusting the play. Parsons off the edge. Prescott end zone touchdown. Pickens. Improbably, Dallas leads.
We got a little magic going with Pickens. Watch this little wiggle move at the top of the route. Right as he's going, oh, he's going to the flag. No, back outside, back inside. Beautifully done, and boy, oh boy, do the Dallas Cowboys need that. They needed one of those moments, right? This whole thing was terrible in the first quarter, and the Cowboys have awakened.
After Love's first fumble of the year, Prescott to Pickens, the Aubrey extra point, and Dallas leads 16 to 13. 14 points in 32 seconds. We're back in 30 seconds. That's why sports rules.
It does, and George Pickens is ruling right now as well. Those plays he's made in the last couple of drives just been sensational.
Aubrey, whose kickoff, don't lose sight of that. They put it down at the 2. Then it bounced in the end zone. They got it at the 20. This time kicks it all the way to the end zone. Touchback ball comes out to the 35. That word #1 receiver. It's like a big deal because it's a big conversation, but CD is one. Pickens was enjoying his role as the understudy, if you will, or the leading, the best supporting actor would be.
But a lot of people will be studying Pickens to see if he could be a #1, right? Free agent at the end of the year. He's going to have an opportunity. But I think more than anything, this was a game that the Dallas Cowboys, their fans, their owner, they needed to be at least competitive. And in the first half and the first quarter, you were going, uh-oh.
Yeah.
This has some really bad ramifications for the Cowboys. Give them credit for bouncing back like they have.
Timeout. Dallas. This is the 30.
Dallas sees how Green Bay is lined up. They want to make sure they have the right things in place with 9 seconds left at the 35-yard line. Again, that whole change in the calculus of football with long field goals. Green Bay's 20 yards away from getting into the McManus field goal range. But it's such a good point that you make, Chris, because it's only one game, right? But it feels like it can have a lasting impact, especially a boost for Dallas if something positive happens tonight.
Jerry Jones, if they win this game, will be passing out more hugs than he probably ever has in his life in the locker room. This would be an opportunity for this team to make a statement.
And Green Bay is going to close quarters here, come in tight. Love will take a knee. Dallas will get the ball to start the third quarter, and that is a pretty big flip. It was 13-0 Green Bay. Dallas blocked the extra point and scored 2. So good at Lambeau opening the season with a win over the Lions and then a Thursday night win over the Commanders, losing late in Cleveland last Sunday. It'll be a return to start the third. Turpin looking to accelerate. And he's brought down right around the 30 a moment ago. Melissa Stark with Brian Schottenheimer.
Brian, 14 points to take the lead at the end of the half. What started working?
Well, you got the blocked PAT with a big return, great momentum. You know, we've been not running the ball great. Defense been punching the ball, but we're a team that feeds on momentum.
You have limited, Micah Parsons only has 2 pressures. How do you continue to limit his impact?
Well, there's still 30 minutes left, but we're doing our best. He's a great player, and yeah, we got 30 more minutes of football. Going to come down to the fourth quarter.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, thank you, Melissa. They take over at the 30. Javonte Williams with the run for 5 yards to the 35-yard line. Of course, Brian Schottenheimer taking over as the head coach this year, but was with the Cowboys the 3 prior seasons, consultant and then offensive coordinator. So he knows the impact that Micah has had on other teams. So he was very much trying to build a plan to keep him off the score sheet tonight.
Yeah, and even his dogs got bit by a copperhead this week. It's talking about being the head coach. You got to be able to do everything.
A snake showing up at the house that they were dealing with during the week. Snaking through the hole there is Javonte Williams, and he has a first down at the 42-yard line.
Honestly, this has been the difference in the game right here. The Dallas Cowboys have been able to get some semblance of a running game going with their backup offensive line in there, and the Green Bay Packers have not. Josh Jacobs again at 2 yards per carry in this game. And so the Dallas Cowboys, you want to talk about any guys you want to, but Kenny Clark, Osa Odighizuwa, those guys are getting it done inside.
Whistle here for a false start on Dallas.
False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
It's on Tyler Smith. That's Jeff Hafley. He's the defensive coordinator for the Packers, was the head coach at Boston College a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, Detroit, Washington, they couldn't get anything done, and then basically they shut out Cleveland 3 points with 3 minutes to go, and then they had to defend the ball on their own 4-yard line after an interception. But this defense really has been brilliant, but for the late turnover, they probably would have considered that first half a great success too.
Penalty backs Dallas up to 1st and 15. Prescott, that slant, Pickens could not secure it. It's incomplete. Looking to take off with that.
That hurts. You know, he had the drop last week that led to the interception right in his hands. And sometimes the easy ones are the hard ones to keep your eye on the ball. You could see his head moving up the field, just took the catch for granted. Just fundamentals of everything in football, they come back to haunt.
Reset here of the clock. He made the tough one earlier.
Yeah, you could see his eyes right on the ball there. And, you know, he's been sensational. Not just that one. I mean, that's so good. It's just so good. Comes back with another touchdown as well. And I don't know, he could really be special if he really got it all together.
It's a 2nd and 15. Javonte Williams only a yard. 3rd and long coming up. Injury updates post halftime with Melissa.
Yes, for both teams. Let's start with the Packers. Devontae Wyatt, it was injured in the first half, briefly went into the medical tent. He is out of the game with a knee injury. As for the Cowboys, running back Miles Sanders, we saw him limping to the locker room. Questionable with an ankle injury, but the athletic training staff telling us he's going to try to give it a go.
They don't have another traditional running back behind him. Hunter Lipke is more of a fullback and is in protection now is the other back. Prescott protected, launching downfield towards Tolbert, cuts back inside on Keyshawn Nixon, and it's incomplete. Nixon had the coverage. Dallas took a shot. 4th down coming up.
So the Green Bay Packers are playing almost exclusively a cover one. So here they'll come back here. So these deep shots are there. And if I had Pickens on my team, I would take some of these. Just give him a chance. Because when you throw that ball up in the air with a great athlete, a great player, one of the tremendous contested catch guys in the league, you're going to have some chances. Now, you spread it around, I understand that, but Pickens is the one that can do the special things.
Anger to kick. And Romeo Dobbs is now back to catch the punt. Does it at the 19. Made a man miss. Heads to the sideline. A return about 5 or 6 near the 25. Taken out at the very, very end of the play there by John Fitzpatrick, the backup tight end. Everybody's okay as they...
Whole life. Nothing better.
Yeah, you know it. You know it. Congrats to Witt, one of the all-time best. Jordan Love of the Packers taking over from the 24. Space here. Josh Jacobs. Pass Sanborn. First down, gain of a dozen to begin the 3rd quarter for the Packers.
You know, I really thought that we were going to see some blitz packages out of the Dallas Cowboys, especially after the way the first quarter started, right? And yet they have just stuck to their guns. And give Matt Eberflus some credit. He hasn't changed who he is. And they just got better. The pass rushers in this game tonight compared to what we saw a week ago against the Bears, night and day difference.
It's quiet for the road offense to operate. Jacobs stopped. Kaiir Elam, the tackle.
Well, James Houston came in here. Sam Williams moving inside, so they've moved some people around. But the consistency of the pressure is something we haven't seen this season.
You see where Matt Eberflus has been, what his appetite for the pressure was. Here comes Sanborn with some heat. It's swung out to Matthew Golden, who's pushed out of bounds, too shy of the first down. They bring up 3rd and 2 as Golden makes his 3rd catch of the night.
As soon as I say that, they come with a blitz. You know, I mean, so all right, why not? There we go. Just everybody's going to come around here, get a little pressure on the quarterback, and you have to impact the quarterback in this league, though. There's no way to win games without moving him a little.
3rd and 2, Green Bay trying to do it in the air. Love, every first look covered. Now he's pressured. Now he's sacked. Flag down, way away from the play, and won by the quarterback. Tackle made by Sam Williams. There was a flag thrown on the near sideline with the ball on the far hash, 40 yards away from this, and that flag was thrown as Williams got up in the face mask of Love. So the 2 flags, 2 separate fouls. That's what Ron Torbert and his crew are sorting.
Yeah, there's a hold and a
There were
face
2
mask.
fouls during the play, both by the defense. Holding, defense number 7, that penalty is declined. Personal foul, face mask, defense number 54. That penalty will be enforced, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Just the killer. This 3rd and 1, you get a sack. The whole, you know, it's just.
They did
like
everything
that.
right.
They did.
Right, except for the end.
Except for the hold and the face mask.
Everything else was perfect, but they did take away those first looks for Love. And you saw the graphic before how the Packers were just rolling on offense, and then after that touchdown, they just hit a wall, couldn't get anything going. Now trying to build some momentum as this first down takes them into Cowboy territory at the 47.
Jadeveon Clowney, remember that name? Right up here.
There's the former #1 overall pick, his 7th team in the last 8 years. He have added in the past. So the walk-off has taken this ball to the 38-yard line. That's what the sorting was. As you look at the number for Clowney last year in Carolina.
You just have to keep an eye on him, see if he has any of that spark left.
Played 9 snaps in that first half. This is Dallas debut. Quick hitter Jacobs. Open. Good move to the outside. Jacobs out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Wanye Thomas in for the injured Malik Hooker, who's out for the rest of the game with an injury, made the stop.
Big time play by Jordan Love right there with that audible. He busts them. He knew they were blitzing right there. So he takes the audible. Let's go run away from that thing. And they busted out big. That's really good quarterback play by Love.
Longest Packer run of the night, 19 yards. Out quick, and Williams puts his shoulder down. Savion out of bounds right around the 15-yard line.
It's been a nice response, right, by the Green Bay Packers. That was an avalanche to end the half, and sometimes that just happens to you. You have a turnover, and there you go. But for the Dallas Cowboys defense, even holding the Packers to a field goal here would feel really big, right? Their offense had a chance, didn't get it done. You just don't want to start the same way in this half that you did in the first half.
Second and 6. The fake to Jacobs. The pass to Kraft. Tucker Kraft to the pylon. He is in for a Green Bay touchdown. Man from Timberlake, South Dakota. Caps off the drive. His 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
Got Reddy Stewart on the outside. Just got fooled on that one by Kraft. Let's take a look to see if he is in.
Where's the ball here as he comes down at the pylon? Down. One more look right here. Is that elbow hit out of bounds? It almost seems to happen at about the same time.
On the field.
And Replay needs a deeper look. All right, back in Dallas. Here was the call a moment ago.
It will be Green Bay's ball, first and goal.
So it is reversed. Ron Torbert with word from replay there in New York. You see the ball is just shy of breaking the plane. I mean, just shy, as it all happened at once. The elbow, the shoulder, the out of bounds, the pylon, the whole deal. And it's first and inches for Jordan Love and the Packers. But a flag for a false start, similar to what we saw earlier. Did he move the ball?
False start. Offense number 74. The center moved the ball towards the goal line. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Terry, I'll let you take this because they've been watching this very closely.
So, Mike, he can have a normal adjustment, but he can't move the ball across the goal line.
Or even forward, right?
Well, he can move it in a normal adjustment. Okay. This looks like it's a little bit too far. He's moved it basically half the distance to the goal, and you can't do that. That's a false start.
And they've been on top of that all year with telling teams from the officiating group, we will be watching this and calling this. So first and inches becomes first and goal from the 5, and Josh Jacobs gets 3 to the 2. It's another strange night, isn't it? What's been happening on these Sunday nights, man?
Yeah. You know, that's the funny thing is, and I understand it because for years centers have been getting away with that, right? And what they do is they almost straddle the ball and squat straight down and then, you know, extend it as far as they can. So, but when you're on the 1-inch line, I don't think he did it on purpose to try and gain an inch.
No, not there. Play clock is running down here. Still in the huddle at 7 and 6. Matt LaFleur checking out the play clock, sauntering down the sideline. Love sees it, snaps it in time. Jacobs threw a tackle of Leofow, but stopped at the 2. Ezeraku again. Donovan Ezeraku, the rookie out of BC, showing up a couple of times here tonight.
I mean, this is a defense that's flying around. Look, watch all the bodies coming in here. The Dallas Cowboys, I think, have heard enough about their defense and how they're not good and they can't do this and they can't do that.
3rd and goal. Jacobs walks it into the end zone for the Green Bay touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 3rd on the season. Nice drive for the first drive of the second half for Green Bay, as they kept it over 5 minutes. Good mix of the run and pass. And now Brandon McManus, whose last extra point was blocked and returned for 2. Essentially a 3-point swing on that. Gets the 1 here, and Green Bay is on top by 4.
That was, I kind of like that sequence on the part of Adam Stinovich and Matt LaFleur, because, you know, there were some questions. The offensive line and the running game just wasn't going, right? So you get backed up and you want to try and establish something. You're on the road here. They've had some issues with the center snap. They've had some issues. You know, their center looks between his legs to be able to do all that. And they go like bang, 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 3 straight runs, get it done. Little confidence builder for some of these backup linemen in there. It was a head coach saying, I believe, man, we are not backing off. And this is how playoff games go.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everything's a fight. Every inch is a fight. And that's what it's beginning to feel like here.
What's been interesting with this Green Bay team, they've had changes on the offensive front. So has Dallas. And with all the talk of Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott and Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs, the score there, you said this a couple of times this weekend, game comes down to backup offensive linemen. And when we look at this, we never talk about that stuff, but that's really where the rubber meets the road in the NFL.
Which is exactly what Jerry Jones talks about when he says you need money to be able to pay a lot of different players. And that's what it is. Backup players decide playoff games.
McManus to the end zone, and waiting for the whistle. It is a touchback. It is ruled a touchback. They waited for a moment. It was very close. Melissa with more on Dak.
Yeah, Mike, something we're seeing down here on the Cowboys sideline, Dak, when he comes to the bench, has put a heating pad on his lower back several times. You can see him doing a little twisting, a little stretching, a little loosening up. He just did it again before this drive. Something to be aware of, but no medical attention.
Okay, Melissa, we'll keep watching Dak as we go through the night. So the ball's coming to the 20-yard line here. Not out to the 35, which is what would happen with a kick
Clock
that was
operator, please set the
touchback.
game clock to 7:07, please. 7:07, clock will start on the snap.
As the ball was fielded by Turpin, we've seen multiple returners almost lose orientation with the goal line as they were catching the ball. And this one comes out to the 20 because of how Turpin took care of it on the kick.
Here we go.
Oh, Prescott on first down, throwing to Jake Ferguson. Very busy last week, quiet here tonight. Green Bay's all over him there for no gain.
Yeah, Mike, that time the Green Bay Packers came out in a little bit different look. There's the 5-man front right there. And so I think they're paying attention. And you see Dak, instead of trying to run into that, he's going to go ahead and just get it out and throw it. But significant moment now for this Packers defense to back up what their offense just delivered.
Second down, Prescott deep was covered, comes back. Jalen Tolbert marked a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 6 with Nate Hobbs. Came over from the Raiders in free agency, making the play from the cornerback spot for the Pack.
Every team needs a really good slot receiver that really understands what's going on. And Kevontae Turpin that time found some space in the middle of the field. He's just not that big body guy. You know, so many times we see those slots, big presence in the middle, tight end, whatever. I think Dak's going to have to learn to trust that he will be there and begin to squeeze in the middle of that field.
3rd and 6, Packers bringing the heat. Retreating, Prescott puts it up, toes down, and he's got him this time. First down with Turpin at the 39-yard line.
Such a big moment in the game as far as I'm concerned. You come right back to him and you let him work a normal route on the outside. He typically is the guy in the slot, has so much speed, so much explosiveness. It forces the DBs to back off in a huge play.
Hits him the old dab, tie your shoe, man. Williams with the run to the 43-yard line. Got the replay of the toes coming down. Those shoelaces were down there as well as we get towards the 5-minute mark here in the 3rd.
That's how good he is.
There you go, toes down, shoelaces down, whole deal.
Now, if only the shoelace went down, would that count, Terry?
Not a body part, right?
Not a body part.
That's right. 43. There is Turpin for the first down into Green Bay territory as he's tackled from behind. Chris, we were here the Monday before the opener in Philadelphia and watched the Cowboys practice, and that Turpin speed in the middle of the field, it just feels like it could be such a weapon like you were talking about.
Well, it's frightening. It really is for defenses, and especially a defense like this. They play zone drops, so their linebackers are going to just drop into a spot. But if you can get the ball in Turpin's hand running, now you have a chance for something explosive. He's the punt returner.
Javonte Williams with that ghost motion involving Turpin gives Williams a little more space to gain 9 on a nice looking drive here for the Cowboys.
I'm going to give you your analyst license here. Exactly right. They're going to go with this reverse action right here, and they're going, oh, they're getting the ball to Turpin on this drive. Here we go. So now they're going to fake that and create a little space, just a few eyeballs go with Turpin there.
Does that license work in all 50 states or just Texas?
It's not worth much.
It's not like that. I'll just borrow yours. 3.5 here in the third. Dak finding some rhythm here in middle of the field. Flanoy has it. That's Dallas first down at the 35. Second time he's hit Ryan Flanoy on the night.
Yeah, I think he has a little confidence in Ryan Flanoy, don't you? Just the way he was talking about it when we were asking him about it in our meetings. And, you know, they really need, with CD out, somebody else to step up. And on this drive, it has been the others.
Yes.
Right? It's been, that's what they need. They need others other than that guy. He's tremendous, and Pickens we've seen. And Ferguson's the one that usually gets all the balls, and now they'll probably start coming back to Ferguson.
CD asking the tight end coach, London Wells, what do we have there? Well, they got Flanoy coming around the edge and accelerating for the first down to the 23-yard line. Brian Schottenheimer's deep into his bag here on this drive.
Well, in this one, they get the motion going across, and great job that time to just bypass the first opportunity to make a block there and continue on. So the others are tearing it up so far this drive.
Cowboys trying to respond to the Packer touchdown drive. From the 23, blitz comes, picked up for Pickens, end zone, trying to make another spectacular catch of Keyshawn Nixon there in coverage.
Oh, Mike Turpin was wide open. He made a great release move, would have been a walk-in touchdown, and he just went the other way. You can't look at Turpin. Oh, what is that? What?
The fans are booing the contact at the end of the plays that's shown on the big screen. Doesn't look like there's anything. CD couldn't believe the effort that Turpin was open. Meanwhile, Micah Parsons is being looked at in the tent, we understand. 2nd and 10. Prescott, Ferguson fighting for the first down. Ferguson right at the mark. Melissa?
Yeah, Mike, before this drive, the member of the athletic training staff came over and had a conversation with Micah Parsons. We saw him come over holding his low back, and then he just went into the medical tent, was not happy about it, and the independent concussion specialist just came out of the tent and will continue to monitor the situation.
Okay, so the concussion specialist was looking in the tent. Meantime, Parsons was holding his back, which had him on the injury list over the last couple of weeks. For the moment, more importantly, first down for the Cowboys with a flag here. And a false start for Dallas.
False start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Schoonmaker, the tight end. Right there, penalty number 8 on Dallas. Green Bay flagged 6 times tonight.
There's Brevin Spanford flanked out now. He was a big role in the last game.
To the other side, Williams got a block, made a man miss. Javonte Williams to the 8-yard line. Quay Walker there for Green Bay on defense, but penalty yards plus for Williams that time.
For both teams tonight, these screen passes have just been a huge part of the offense and keeping drives alive. So we've seen Green Bay really impact Dallas, and now turnabout fair play.
Green Bay racing their nickel back off the field. They've got 11 out there. It's 2nd and 6. Ferguson working at the top. Dak looking that way, throwing that way. Ferguson touchdown. Dallas Cowboys.
Anytime you can get a big tight end on a cornerback, you just get your body in between the corner and the ball, and there's nothing they can do. There just isn't. It's just rebounding.
Jake Ferguson, busy man last week against Chicago. 13 catches, 14 targets. Been a quieter night. The former Badger gets a touchdown against Wisconsin's pro team. Extra point added by Brandon Aubrey. Dak Prescott leading the Cowboys 12 plays and 80 yards. And Jake Ferguson, his first touchdown reception in 23 games. It's been a long time. Aubrey's kickoff, retreating back to the goal line for this return. Taken to the 30 by Bo Melton, and he's down there.
They have to deliver.
I'm with you here. Just Captain. What aisle at Walmart is that? From the 30, here's Jacobs to the right.
Actually,
He definitely gained 3 yards to the 33-yard line. Dante Fowler came over to make the play there. So who was going to replace Micah Parsons and impact the pass rush? When we talked to the Cowboys, they said Dante Fowler's having a really good year. 11th year out of Florida. He's been around a long time. But it's been a rotation of guys, and Fowler's one of them. Leading the Packers by 3, Green Bay, 2nd and 7. To begin the final. And run with Jacobs, the 38-yard line. It's been a busy Jack Sanborn, former Badger out of Wisconsin, making the tackle there.
so one of the weird things about this offense is you see their center, Elton Jenkins. Most teams, they like the guard taps the leg to let him know to snap the ball. Here, they expect Jenkins to look between his legs and figure out what's going on, and then he snaps the ball. I don't know how he figures out what's going on in front of him. I really don't.
3rd and 2 with 4 coming. Love slides through the opening, takes off, has the first down. There's a flag down to the secondary as Love is brought down right around the 36-yard line. It's a big gain of 26 if it holds up. Flag was thrown about 6 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Holding defense number 27. 5-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down, Green Bay.
It's on the first-year nickel, Reddy Stewart.
And Reddy Stewart is playing in the slot because they want Deron Bland to take it a little bit easy, and they thought it would be easier for him to be outside where he's played a lot. And then they're going to put Reddy Stewart, who they really like, coming in there and playing the slot, but that time he got had. And 3rd down's really, Mike, sort of the difference in this game. Green Bay 5 for 7 and Dallas 1 for 5, but they've been making all their hay on 1st and 2nd down. So it's been a little bit of a strange game.
Love pressured again, retreating, just throws it. Tight end doesn't come back to the ball, and it's ruled incomplete. Immediately they point to Luke Musgrave as the intended receiver on that. By the way, the play before, 25-yard run by Jordan Love, 2nd longest of his 6-year NFL career.
Just taking a look. If he wasn't outside the tackle box, right, that at least was a candidate for grounding. He was definitely trying to make a move to get outside.
You see what that is. The line judge and the field judge were pointing right to the receiver over there and using that official-to-official communication system to have that combo. Twisting 4-man rush in front of him. Pass is complete. 3 shy of the first down with Tucker Kraft. Jack Sanborn again with a tackle. It's going to set up 3rd and a short 3.
So we've seen a little bit more pressure on that last play that we were debating. That Eberflus did bring a 5-man rush on that one. Let's see if he decides to roll the dice here or not.
Jacobs is out of Manuel Wilson. Is the running back on 3rd and 2. Wilson's got it, and he keeps grinding forward to get the first down. Terrific 2nd effort by Wilson. 5'10", 226. Gets a Green Bay first down.
Yeah, you don't hear a whole lot about him, but that has been the 2nd block, Mike, that I've seen by Rasheed Walker that really moved people. We saw another one down on the goal line So sometimes Walker can give up a pressure or two, but man, when you need those big blocks and those big plays and big moments, right there, standing right with Jordan Morgan.
7th round pick out of Penn State. Now in year 4 in the league. 21 Jacobs running to the left, lineman in front of him. 2.5, maybe 3. Ezeraku again, along with Ozigidua.
Yeah, Ezeraku is one of those guys that just athletically is going to be able to do things. I thought he was one of the most accomplished pass rushers coming out of college. He had more pass rush moves for somebody coming out than I really had seen. Now, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he is very elusive and he plays really hard. He just threw his body into that tackle.
Second down, Jacobs bounces to the outside, cuts it up inside. Terrific finish on the touchdown run by Josh Jacobs. His second of the second half.
I tell you, it's fun to watch. Ezeraku's over here, and you're going to see him try and cut this play off, and just got blocked all the way down. Luke Musgrave doesn't always have the catches that a Tucker Kraft has, but man, sometimes in the biggest moments, it's the blocks by the tight end that really makes the difference.
Extra point by McManus is good, and Green Bay leads by 4. Kickoff, Turpin from the 3 for a place to accelerate, and he is stopped shy of the 25. Here's Melissa.
Yeah, Mike, a few minutes ago we told you that Micah Parsons didn't want to go into the medical tent. Well, as he came out, he quickly grabbed for his helmet, and that was just as the Cowboys scored their last touchdown. You can see him there, and then he turned in frustration. He wanted to throw his helmet, but he didn't, trying to keep his emotions in check. And his fellow teammate, wide receiver Malik Heath, came over and said, "Keep your head up, man. We need you."
He's back on the field now. Left tackle on first down as Prescott rolls the other way and throws it complete to the 28-yard line with Luke Schoonmaker.
I'll tell you, Dak Prescott's had a nice night, hasn't he?
He really has.
I mean, do you know how hard it is to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? Think of all the stuff, all the swirl this week, right? With Jerry and Micah and all that, and he handles it. He can handle the stuff at this organization.
Javonte Williams running into the boundary, stopped at the 30, thrown down. Rashawn Gary has been the beneficiary of the arrival of Parsons with the play there. It's a good point, Chris. This is year 10. It's game 126, and this job is unique. It's not like the other quarterback jobs in the league.
No, and they were asking about, oh, is this like one of the hardest games, ever?
Right.
You know, all the pub and the. He kind of looked at him like, are you serious? So this was on Mike and Jerry. Leave me alone.
It takes a unique player to handle the role. You saw the names of the guys who are household names who have held this position. Dak in year 10. Seeing Packer pressure here, out quick. Complete for the first down. It's Kalate Turpin out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Dallas will keep this drive going.
Micah Parsons now, when he goes inside, instead of it being a tight end that's going to help, you're going to see the back step up. So it's still a double team on Micah Parsons, but it's Williams who's in that situation going to help Brock Hoffman. And they have just had a plan. Give the Dallas Cowboys coaches credit. Clayton Adams, he's the offensive coordinator for putting all this together.
Try Turpin on the reverse, cut it back up inside. Quay Walker was waiting. Game is about 3 on that one. Exhausted. Nate Hobbs was chasing.
Nate Hobbs has been through a little bit here with his knee and just kind of coming back. So this is tough. I think this is almost 4-down territory for the Dallas Cowboys. I haven't seen any sign that either defense is going to stop somebody now.
The game's being stopped here so they can get Nate Hobbs and check on him. And the officials have done such a good job the last few years with that as an awareness See a player who might be shaken up instead of trying to play through it. Stop the game, get him with the athletic training staff, those professionals, make sure he's okay. So as he goes out, Carrington Valentine, third-year man out of Kentucky, he started the back end of last season when Jair Alexander was dealing with all of his injuries. Valentine is in the game, bottom of the screen.
And he's fine. He's got the second most snaps for one of the cornerbacks on the Packers.
Prescott, other side, Jalen Tolbert there. Keyshawn Nixon, the tackle, 3rd and 2. Coming up as we dive under 9 left in regulation of this one.
Keyshawn Nixon just does a nice job with the coverage. Sometimes he can get outmatched a little bit when you have to make a tackle on the outside against one of those big backs, but here comes in another guy, Javon Bullard, number 20, their strong safety, who they just think is going to be one of the really, really good ones coming up. So tough around that line of scrimmage.
3rd and 2. Parsons bottom of the screen on the defensive line.
Whoops.
Gets by him. Got ear Dak. The pass is incomplete. He took a swipe at the ball, almost got to it. Prescott protected it, got the throw out. It's incomplete. Now 4th and 2. Dak looking toward the sideline.
Man, was that close. And it looked like Parsons was going to do what Houston did earlier and swipe the ball out of the quarterback's hands. You saw the uppercut with that left hand, and if he had caught the ball, it would have gone flying. Give credit for Dak just hanging in there, but here we go. They are maybe 4-down territory.
They will go for it. Prescott throws it in the middle, and it's caught for the 1st down by Pickens. So he's had the spectacular catch here, working in the middle to keep the drive going at the Pack 45.
You have no idea how good this throw is. So he's going to come across here, and watch how low this ball is. It's exactly what you want as a receiver going across the middle, especially on 4th down, because nothing matters but the catch. Just perfectly delivered. Boy, those guys have come up with some big plays tonight.
Green Bay 45. Inside Williams. Good jump cut to the left. The turn could have been nothing into about 4 yards as Bullard was pulling at the ball, trying to yank it away from Williams, who hits 50 yards on the night.
Yeah, and what we've seen, Mike, out of the Cowboys is they tend to want to throw it on the early downs, first 2-3 downs, and then as they complete a pass or two or get a 1st down, now they're having to substitute in and out. Now you can attack a little bit with the running game. That's the same thing they did on that 95-yard drive.
This drive started back at their own 23. This is play 9. Prescott, play pass. Crossing Tolbert, just a little too tall for Jalen to pull in.
Wow, they had that one. They had the perfect call. They have a 5-man front and a 6-man adding on, so you know you have man-to-man coverage. Here we go. Now you're going to come across the field here. You just got to hit this pass. They've got it picked up, the little bootleg wide open. That hurts.
So there's Dallas facing 3rd and 5 just outside the 40. Parsons trying to go inside. He got stopped, but Prescott flushed, flag down as he throws it complete. Ferguson will only gain 3 yards. But this flag will have a significant impact on where the Cowboys are and what the decision will be here on 4th down, where they replay 3rd from a lot longer.
TJ Bass gave up almost immediate pressure on that one. I couldn't tell if he held or not.
Defensive face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 94. 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. Automatic face mask.
As Carl Brooks was trying to get away, he got Dak. Terry, that enough for a face mask?
It is. It's a slight grasp, but it's a turn. It's a foul.
Dak points it out right away.
Yeah, So these guys are unbelievable. If the guy doesn't get off the field, they know that. They look there. They help him officiate all they can.
He takes the ball to the 22-yard line. Another high penalty number here tonight for Green Bay. Dallas has more, but Green Bay averaging 9 per game coming in. And 22, inside run. Williams. He's been a good addition, Chris. This is a team that was looking for a guy, right? And now they've found it, and they keep feeding him.
And you're happy for him, too, you know. And to some extent, he kind of reminds me of Josh Jacobs because they have a similar running style. But more than that, and we've seen Jacobs with some of his nice cuts and runs, they both have the ability to really read these defenses. They know how to set up blocks. Back to the 5-man front.
Dak changing the play to a Williams run to the right. Good change of the play. Williams first and goal. Dallas inside the 5-yard line. Evan Williams saved the touchdown.
So the 5-man front gives you extra guys in here. So what you saw was Dak, let's try to hit him off tackle there. Because if you get the reach block on the outside in the way that Terrence Steele did there, who is a tremendous run blocker, you see the hand signals in behind. All he was doing was telling Williams, look, we're checking. If you didn't hear the check, just go that way. I'm going to get you the ball.
Cowboys great in the red zone tonight, looking for the lead. It is Williams short of the goal line. 20 to go on a turning fourth quarter clock. Dallas was down 13-0 early second quarter and then blocked the extra point for 2, and that's changed the momentum of this one.
Mike, take a look at this. Dak Prescott, one empty hand, one pointing hand, and that was exactly what they did, just in case he didn't hear the call.
Second and goal. Direct snap, Williams in for the touchdown. There is a flag down. The flag down on the near side. I believe it is an offside call on the Packers, and the Cowboys will have the lead.
Offside. Defense number 24 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. It was over the play. The touchdown.
Direct snap directly to the end zone.
They go into this jumbo formation with an extra tight end over there as well. And no reason to involve Dak Prescott. This is just big guy football now.
Brian Schottenheimer has called a really good game here tonight.
And his quarterback has matched him play for play with some of his audibles as well. This is a definitely sort of a coming of age, really, for Brian Schottenheimer. There was every reason for this team to begin to collapse at the end of that first quarter. Nothing was going right. They just kept hanging in here tonight, and they are matching drive for drive. Nobody is stopping anybody in this second half.
Brandon Aubrey to extend the lead to 3. Smoothly knocks it through. Less than 5 to go.
We'll take a Super Bowl just like this one. This has really been a fun night.
It has been. Williams and Heath are back. See if Aubrey can make it tough to catch. It does bounce in the landing zone, caught in the end zone. The ball comes out to the 20. He scored earlier. He is not back in the lineup at the moment. Emmanuel Wilson is the running back.
Josh Jacobs has had a big night tonight, too.
He is on the sideline with his helmet on. From the 20, Love, flush, comes back to Savion Williams. Stop there. Gain of a yard. Reddy Stewart with the tackle. Melissa.
Yeah, you were talking about Josh Jacobs, and after that touchdown, the athletic training staff working on his right knee. He went into the locker room, and the team said they were treating a cut below that knee. He's back in the game.
Yep, he's coming back in there. You see him warming up when we were in break before this drive, testing it out.
And after a bit of a slow start, 17 carries for 70 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 46. So a big night already.
2nd and 8. Here he goes to the right. Dallas goes there with him. Kenny Clark, the former Packer, coming over in the Parsons trade, comes up with the stop and sets up a very important 3rd down.
And what did Kenny Clark tell us? He was like, yeah, I was just the throw-in part. Everybody thought I was just no big deal. They wanted to get rid of me. They wanted to get rid of my salary because I can't wait to show them what I can do out here tonight.
3rd and 8. Cowboys bringing some heat. Love gets it out quick. It's caught. There goes Romeo Doubs. Stopped at the 40-yard line. Big 3rd down conversion to Doubs. Donovan Wilson limits what would have been an even bigger game. With timeout for an injured Cowboy.
Ron Bland playing on that foot really has had issues, but trying to hang in there. I'll tell you, that was a big tackle by Wilson. It was a little bit of a clothesline, but man, there was a lot of green grass if he didn't make that.
The injured player is Kenneth Murray of the Cowboys. Injury timeout. She's left foot there, stepping on Dante Fowler at the end as they were trying to get towards Jordan Love, who completed it 18 yards to Romeo Doubs. And on 1st down, just dirts it, puts it in the ground as everything was covered on that screen. Incomplete. Tucker Kraft was right in the area.
Yeah, and then one of the big moments maybe of the season for the Dallas Cowboys defense, they have a rookie in there in Shamar James out of Florida. You can see they're trying to get Kenneth Murray back going again. But James is a really good pass rusher. In college, that was the strength of his game. So if there is a moment where maybe you blitz him, a very athletic James, maybe he gets an opportunity.
Didn't play in the first 3 games. That was his 12th snap of this game. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Love has it out. It is Emmanuel Wilson making men miss. Getting to the Cowboys side of midfield. 1st down at the 48. 3:20 to go.
Yeah, that's a killer. You just can't have that happen because they had the perfect defense. They're sitting there. They've got the vice working, 2 tacklers coming at them from different angles, and they still miss the tackle. That one is almost impossible to miss. As a runner with the ball, you almost give yourself up. Instead, they end up giving up a 1st down.
3 to go. Each team, all 3 timeouts. Love inside give. Emmanuel Wilson inside the 45. Brought down by Jadeveon Clowney at the 44, we'll call it, for 2nd down.
So Emmanuel Wilson's been playing really well, and that's tough to come in when Josh Jacobs is playing like he is. But now, Mike, for the Dallas Cowboys, we have to start paying attention to the clock here. Absolutely.
You got it.
Because the perfect dream ending, right, is the Green Bay Packers score a touchdown here to finish off this drive. So the clock now a factor for both teams, more so the Cowboys.
Matthew Golden in motion. Love play action. Fussed by Ezeraku. Passes drop. Couple of attempts to catch it. And that flag is called, thrown there, as Wilson couldn't bring it in. Oh, boy. Personal foul will be called here on the Cowboys.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 35. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
On Maris Leofau.
We've seen some incredible hits out of Leofau here tonight, but that one really hurts because there was plenty of time to stop. And, you know, the mindset of a linebacker is you're winding up from 3 or 4 yards away to make a hit. You don't just hit. And that windup ended up being 15 yards the wrong way.
And Terry McCauley, our rules analyst, you concur?
Absolutely. The ball's clearly on the ground. Plenty of time to hold up. Absolutely a foul.
Green Bay, 1st and 10 inside the 30. Josh Jacobs, inside run, inside the 20. Jacobs carrying bodies. 15 to the 15 as we hit the 2-minute warning. And the Green Bay Packers trying to retake the lead. both teams all 3 timeouts.
Perfect situation for the Green Bay Packers. They're already in field goal range.
From the 15, toss. Jacobs going to lose 3 yards as Reddy Stewart is there. Timeout taken by Brian Schottenheimer with 1:53 to go. He wanted it a couple seconds earlier. Ball's in the air for a moment there. A little quick pitch. Stewart on it.
Big play by Reddy Stewart, and they feel perfectly comfortable. There was a little bit of nervousness, right? Deron Bland's not going to be in the slot. You'd already let Jordan Lewis go off to Jacksonville, and he was a really good player and one of those really intentional leaders on this team. But the Dallas Cowboys now, if they can stop them and hold this to a field goal, remember who their kicker is, and we know he can make it from anywhere. So this is a big second down right here. The Packers need to have an impact. They've got to play this thing through.
2 seconds put back on the clock from when Schottenheimer asked for the timeout, so $1:55 to go. Emmanuel Wilson in the back. He's got the swing to the outside. He's got the 3 yards back lost on the last play. Timeout Dallas, 1:49 to go.
I tell you, these defensive backs in this drive right now are making plays, and that's Trayvon Diggs who's going to come flying up there and make that one. We saw Reddy Stewart on the one before, so now just the moment of the ball game. There's just no other way to say it. If the Dallas Cowboys can hold here, force the field goal attempt, even if it's made, you have to feel really good if you're a Cowboys fan that somehow, some way, they're going to work their way into field goal range.
Ball at the 15. Green Bay can get a first down at the 5.
You do have a backup safety in the game, and Wanye Thomas, number 2, if you wanted to look there.
And no Josh Jacobs. Emmanuel Wilson remains the back. Kraft so big down here. Flip sides. Cowboys bringing 4. Love throwing end zone. Touchdown! Romeo Doubs again! It's the hat trick for Doubs, and the Packers take the lead. What a night for Romeo. Big extra point here to make it a 4-point game and force Dallas to need a touchdown. McManus knocks it through. Green Bay shores up the protection on the career-high 3-touchdown night for Romeo Doubs. Green Bay takes the lead again.
Really well-designed play call right here. You've got trips over here, so this safety is going to cheat here, which means you've got one-on-one with a lot of space in the middle of the field on the backside, and that's about as easy a pitch and catch in that situation as you can get. But just remember, so much of this game is about formations. You saw the late motion. They know how to open up those parts of the field, and for Matt LaFleur, that was really, really well done.
For Jordan Love, a 3-touchdown, no interception night, all 3 to Doubs, the 4th-round pick out of Nevada. Remember, Christian Watson is coming back from his ACL injury. Jaden Reed is out. So the receiver core has been thinned with Green Bay, but Doubs has stepped up and been huge tonight.
He really has. And that touchdown, again on 3rd down, I mean, they have really done a job on 3rd down. But to take that from a tie game to a 4-point lead and basically take the best field goal kicker in the National Football League and Brandon Aubrey out of the game.
On these kickoff returns tonight, Cavante Turpin has been slow playing and looking for a hole to open to hit. We'll see how McManus can point it. You know, he's got the laces facing the Cowboys sideline, which means you can't kick it with a little twist on it and make it tough to catch. So he's got retreating Turpin fielding it at the 1. He goes to the right. He's got some space. There goes Turpin. Good field position for Dallas at the 46-yard line. With 1:38 and a timeout for Prescott to take it to the end zone. Been here and done it 7 times.
Well, they've been unstoppable here, and the way they've done it, at least thus far, is they throw a couple of early passes to begin to drive and then come back to the run game some. But this is sort of that moment. We talked about the others before, but Pickens now would be sure nice to get him involved.
He's down. Prescott had that slip out of his hands. Let's see what that is. It is ruled incomplete for the moment, and then
Went forward with control of the ball to the complete pass. There was a receiver in the vicinity at second down.
all answered there very efficiently by Ron Torbert.
Now we've got Nate Thomas playing the left tackle position.
35 seconds, please. 135. The clock will start in the snap. Thank you.
And once again, you heard Ron Torbert when he opened his mic to say that there was a receiver in the area and it was incomplete as Prescott lost control of the ball. Terry, the replay and live, there wasn't anybody really around as an eligible receiver. Torbert again talking on the mic.
The game clock will start in the snap.
We're just talking about the clock here. Terry, I'll take your 2 cents here.
Yeah, Mike, there is no receiver in the area. Now, if it slips out of his hands, there's no foul here, but it looks like he actually throws the football into an area where there's nobody. I believe this should have been intentional grounding.
And is the slips out of the hand the judgment of the referee?
It is, yes.
Gotcha, thanks.
If that's what he ruled, then it is no intentional grounding.
2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Big pressure inside. Ferguson protecting the ball. Takes a big hit. Gains 7. Clock spins with $1:25 to go.
And that's no surprise, right? We have seen when everything starts to get hot, Jake Ferguson is the guy that they want to get the football to. And here they go again.
George Pickens, bottom of the screen. Prescott inside. It's Jalen Tolbert crossing. Tolbert at the 30, brought down to the 27-yard line. 1:04 to go. Dallas will keep the pedal down. Parsons on the field. He'd love to have a closing exclamation point moment. He's moved over to the top of the screen.
They're dropping a lot of safeties in. There are going to be some chances down the field.
That got rid of it. Here's Pickens inside the 10. Pickens to the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. In 62 seconds, they go 54 yards. Don't forget the Turpin kickoff return. And now the Cowboys will have a chance for a 3-point lead. Look at Prescott.
Hey, I'm just going to reference the New York Giants game. It ain't over yet.
Oh, no. And Brandon McManus can hit him from long range as well, the Green Bay kicker. This Aubrey kick, huge. Good. Lead is 3, and the difference in the game right now was that blocked extra point and the 2-point return for it in the first half.
So what you're going to see are safeties dropping in there, which means right at the snap of the ball, Dak understands that's one-on-one with his best player on the outside. Get him the football, catch and run, break a tackle, and it has been the breakout night, at least as far as his Dallas Cowboys career goes, for George Pickens. He has been sensational tonight. And remember, that's Carrington Valentine, who's in for Nate Dobbs.
And Dak Prescott matching Jordan Love, their numbers almost the same. And George Pickens, he was frustrated when he did not perform and had a drop last week. And Dak said, you just got to stay on board here because no CD Lamb. We're going to ask a lot of you. And Pickens comes through. 2 touchdowns over 100 yards on the night. CeeDee Lamb very happy. Green Bay has had issues trying to catch and how to return these Aubrey kicks. The last couple have pinned the Packers back at the 20. They need a field goal to tie. They've got all 3 timeouts. Aubrey's kicks, he drifts back. He catch kick going backwards from the 2. It's Savion Williams trying to get to the edge. He gets past the 20. Still going to the 26-yard line with 35 seconds remaining. And Green Bay will take over there.
Plenty of time. We flip it around now for the Green Bay Packers. And obviously, we're going to talk about Romeo Doubs, but this has also been Tucker Kraft time as well.
McManus hit from over 60 in warm-up, so if you use that as a gauge to take a shot, they need to get around the 45. So Green Bay probably needs about 30 yards in 35 seconds with 3 timeouts. Very doable. Josh Jacobs back in. He's the back. The 26. Outlet Jacobs. Pass Shamar James. Down the sideline. Out of bounds to boot. He got everything there. To the 49. And they're not too far from field goal range with plenty of time left.
Well, we talked about the backup linebacker, Shamar James, in the game, and those little swing passes have just been killing the Cowboys, whether it's a screen or a swing. That time, Shamar James just really could not make the play.
Murray back in the game, so James playing his first game, his first snaps. The 5th-round pick thrown in the middle of it here. Love, pressured, escapes, throws it out of the pocket, incomplete. Got to pass the line of scrimmage. Kraft in the area. Down to 22 seconds left.
I tell you, I think they're going to end up having to play James Houston a lot more. He is impacting the big moments of the game. He did not get Love on the ground that time, but he is a factor. He got the fumble earlier in the game, and I thought he had him again.
You just think, what do they need to have a realistic shot from here? A field goal is 67 yards. So they've got a couple of downs, a couple of timeouts to get 10 yards. Even 7 to take a shot at it. 22 to go. Cowboys show blitz. Here they come. Love gets it out. Complete sideline to the 40-yard line with Malik Heath. That should put them in realistic range for the veteran McManus.
Yeah, I think realistic, and part of me wants to say, all right, now you could take a shot to try and get it all, but when you're in this situation, you've got to get it closer.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? You can't count on somebody making a 57-yard field goal.
We've all been spoiled by the evolution of the long kick. 17 to go, still all 3 timeouts. They'll run it inside here. Get nothing, take a timeout. Jacobs stopped by Murray, who's back in the game. A dozen seconds left in regulation.
It was 3rd down, too, so that became a factor. I mean, obviously, if it had gotten to 4th down, they would have had to kick it.
Green Bay is still first. It's a 30-second timeout.
Again, that bizarre missed extra point, blocked a return for 2. That rule changed a decade ago, 2015, so this is the 11th season of it. We've only had 15 instances where a team has taken one of those and scored the defensive 2 points. And it's the difference in the game because that's a 3-point swing. 1 less for Green Bay and 2 for Dallas. It was Wanye Thomas, second man in, got through the opening, got the block. And Marquise Bell brought it back, and Dallas had absolutely nothing going on at this point in the game.
And that was what Brian Schottenheimer said gave them a spark when Melissa talked to him.
12 to go. Timeout taken by Dallas. They got a peekaboo at what Green Bay was going to do.
3rd and final charge timeout. Dallas.
Well, I think you're going to see the Dallas Cowboys allow a short completion. I really do, because Going to get it down around that 5-second mark. They're going to kick it. If you do anything else, they're not a great blitz team, and if you take that chance and land in some man coverage, they've just given up so many big plays this year. So I think they'll sit back in their zones, rally up, make the tackle, and Green Bay will kick.
Green Bay had Mason Crosby as their kicker for so long. Went through a couple of rough spots last year, but McManus, a veteran, available, signed, and has really stabilized the kicking if it comes down to a field goal.
A sack here would be deadly, though.
And they choose to run it here with Clowney chasing Jacobs and brought him down at the 35-yard line. 8 seconds to go. And exactly like you were saying, Chris, just get a few more yards and a few more yards and get it a bit closer.
I mean, but it's still 53-yard field goal. So there's nothing easy about this upcoming kick. The one thing I would say about it right now is it's sitting dead center in the middle of the field. So depending on what your kicker likes, sometimes they like it in the middle, sometimes they like them on one of the hashes.
Manis made a 61-yarder back in 2021. Remember, he kicked in Denver for a long time. Made a 56 earlier this year, 55 last year with the Packers. It's been fun tonight. Good game, good day. Starting with the game in Dublin this morning and concluding here at Arlington tonight. 2nd and 6. Love with 7 seconds left, putting it up top and deep and out of play as everything was covered in the direction of Dontavian Wicks. And now Brandon McManus will come on with a long field goal attempt to try to tie this game.
You know, this game has just gone back and forth where the Packers could live with a field goal and the Cowboys, when they drove, had to have a touchdown because of the 4 points versus the 3 points. And so the game might end on the 3-point to just go ahead and tie it up.
Matt Orzik is the snapper. Daniel Whelan, the punter, is the holder. It's McManus to tie the game from 53 yards. Operation clean. Kick is right down the middle. And we will go to overtime. Nailed it.
Well, I take back what I was saying about those 58-yard field goals. I think that would have been no problem. It's amazing what these guys are doing kicking the ball anymore.
The evolution of the 50-yard field goal has become just standard. The 50th 50-plus of McManus's career sends us to OT. This the second overtime in the National Football League this year. Game 62 of the league season. And the other overtime was right here. And the score in regulation was 37 apiece with Dallas and the Giants. And we'll do it again. Joe Milton, the backup quarterback, out for the coin flip. And McManus, who just made the game-tying field goal.
We will proceed to one overtime period of up to 10 minutes. Each team will have an opportunity to possess the ball unless there is a defensive score on the first possession. Each team has 2 timeouts. Fourth quarter timing rules apply. All replays will be handled by the replay booth upstairs. Any questions? All right, this is the same coin that we used to toss at the beginning of the game. This is tails. This is heads. Green Bay, what's your call? Heads is the call. Heads is the call. It is heads. You want to kick? Okay. Which goal do you want? You want to kick? Okay. You want to? Okay. Flip around.
So the Giants.
Green Bay has won the toss. Elected to kick.
Did the same thing in the first overtime game of this regular season with these adjusted rules where you're guaranteed a possession. They won the toss.
And I don't think they could do it if they wanted to.
There's also that freak of a returner in Cavante Turpin. There's a chance he can get in his hands and go. He's going to bring it out from the goal line. Here comes Turpin looking for the opening. Cutting it back inside. Flag down. He's down to 43, and they'll bring it back. So it'll be a long field here for Dallas in all likelihood. Preliminary indication on the Cowboys. So the road will be long. Meantime, the kicker McManus was involved there around that tackle area, and he's a little shaken up. Let's watch that. That could be a huge development. Ron Torbert again.
During the return, holding. Return team number 53. 10-yard penalty. Dallas's ball, 1st and 10.
You know,
Good, Chris. I'm sorry.
Mike, that's one thing when you're talking about McManus. He could go into the concussion protocol. I'm not even saying that's what it is. But if it did work out that way, conceivably, he wouldn't be eligible to kick, right? I mean, anything's possible.
Affects a lot of things. Pointing towards his back area as he took that shot. So Melissa will keep an eye on that on the sideline. Cowboys begin overtime with the ball. And Prescott gives to Javonte Williams. He runs it inside for 11 yards. Good carry for Williams.
Yeah, I really think, Mike, you're seeing some good play inside by Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass. We said this game may well come down to those two backup players. Watch the double team in here. Really set this thing up and just get the push to get that play started.
Hey, 40, 29, 29.
Parsons bottom of the screen, rushing inside, but Dak's got it out quick. He's got Pickens for 4 to the 35-yard line. Again, Dallas gets a possession. Green Bay guaranteed a possession no matter what Dallas does. The change in the rule in the offseason, ensuring that, like the playoffs, you get a shot with the ball.
Yeah, and Carrington Valentine out there just gave up the touchdown. So they're like, let's throw another one in front of him and see if he's still ready for this thing. But it is hot in this building. And Green Bay comes from a different environment than what Dallas does. You wonder how much this heat may be impacting them here in the fourth quarter and overtime.
2nd and 6. Williams, that time Green Bay had it all stopped up. Limiting the gain. It'll be 3rd down now here for the Cowboys. 90 seconds into this 10-minute overtime session.
Well, we've got 2 play callers on either side as head coaches in this game. And this is the play call of the night.
Says 4. It's really like 4 3/4 that Dallas needs here.
Micah Parsons out wide, and he is going to get a running start.
End of the play clock off in time. Prescott throwing sideline caught. It's Pickens. Out of bounds at the 43-yard line. George Pickens targeted for the 11th time. 8th catch of the night.
Big time throw right there, and it's set up by this big guy out here, Nate Thomas. He's got Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has space, and he just flat out got it done on that one. And then Dak and Pickens delivered as they have all night long.
Pickens coming up huge, stepping into CeeDee Lamb's position. Just outside the 42. Play pass out quick. Caught by Schoonmaker, the tight end. Limited gain to the 39-yard line. Again, you're thinking touchdown, but you want to get points on the board. This is in Brandon Aubrey's field goal range. The whole building, it feels like it is, but it would be 57 from here.
I wonder if Dak was wondering who made that play call. We're going to bootleg into Micah Parsons. That's the first time we've seen that, and he barely got it off.
Micah Parsons credited for 2 assisted tackles, no solos, no sacks on the night. 2nd and 7. Prescott gets away. Parsons chasing him. Puts it up for grabs. Coming back is Tober. Did he keep his feet in? Yes, he did. Ruled a catch on the sideline inside the 5. Oh.
That is an unbelievable play. I'm going to tell you, for Dak Prescott, if you have any doubts, let's make sure he's in. Yes, I think so.
Play.
Looks all good.
What a play.
They're going to run down and make sure they do it fast, but they don't have to. But that was a fadeaway for Dak Prescott on the release. I don't know how he got the ball down there that far.
Play clock down to 7. Cowboys have it 1st and goal. And Brian Schottenheimer's going to take a timeout. You get 2 in overtime, and he wants to take one here As you said, Chris, it has been a long night. It's hot. Cowboys have run 64 plays. Just give everybody a chance to catch their breath and not waste it down here. Back to that play. Prescott keeping it alive for that shot downfield.
So it isn't one of those plays. You're going to see him when he comes out here. He's not running towards the line of scrimmage. He's going to face pressure coming at him. So he's got to back away from this throw, and it throws it 45 yards-ish in the air out here. This is not your typical on the move. This is going backwards, all arm, and put it right on the button.
Hey, shout out to Ryan Dixon. He's the field judge in the shot there. He got that call right. Those calls are so tight. We're looking at it in super slow-mo and stopping it. Heck of a play, heck of a call. First and goal, Dallas from the 5. Lipke in motion. Williams carries a yard or so to the 4. It's like you're watching the game, you're watching the down and distance, and then every once in a while you go, ooh, look at the clock. The clock moves, it feels like it moves at double speed in overtime sometimes.
It really does. Here comes Micah Parsons back in after a little bit of a breather now. Let's see where they're going to line him up here.
Left side of the defensive line, right on the hash mark, closest to you. Dak, play fake, looking. Here's Parsons chasing. Dak taking off. Parsons gets him. He comes down. He's down by contact. That is no gain. Could technically be called a sack, depending on how the statisticians deem it. Either way, it's third down.
It doesn't matter what it is. It is a touchdown saving play by Micah Parsons. I mean, he's going in. There's not a doubt in my mind. The corner had his back turned. Just pure hustle and speed, and that's what you pay for.
So it sets up third and goal, officially ruled a sack. Interesting to see if they don't get it, what the decision is for Schottenheimer. 4:50 to go. Flournoy in motion. Prescott looking, throwing back to the end zone and getting rid of it. Nothing was open. Throws it away. Fourth down. Got to kick the field goal here, and on comes Aubrey to try to give Dallas the lead.
Unbelievable, right? I mean, we saw Dak Prescott run in for the touchdown earlier. You sort of contained Micah Parsons all night.
Yes.
Jerry is probably thinking, thank goodness he didn't tear us up tonight. And then the moment of the game, when it looked like Dak was going to run in for the touchdown, Micah came out of nowhere.
So Aubrey out. Dallas will go for the field goal here. 22 yards, just the short stuff for Aubrey here. And he pops it through, and the Cowboys take the lead 40-37. Let's see. Green Bay's got Bo Melton and Savion Williams back to receive. Again, a perfect kick by Aubrey, bouncing it in the landing zone, bounces into the end zone, and Green Bay has to start from the 20. Aubrey's been sensational with those kickoffs in this second half.
And it's so key because now they start on the 20. The kickoff almost never starts on the 20 or inside short of a foul. And because of those kicks, it is a long way to go now for the Green Bay Packers. They do have the advantage, obviously, 4-down territory until they at least get into field goal range. So it'll be tough for the Cowboys to stop them here.
Touchdown wins. Field goal continues the game for the balance of the 4:40 that's left. A turnover or a Dallas stop on downs, and the Cowboys move to 2-2. Jordan Love begins it from the 20-yard line. Josh Jacobs, the back. Out quick. Dontavian Wicks met by Dante Fowler. Limited gain.
Pretty conservative approach now for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously don't want to give up anything big. But Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott. Mike, this is just tremendous, right? I mean, you have to remember the Green Bay Packers have just dominated on defense really all season long. They've just been playing great. And the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, you wondered whether that offense could be enough. And he told us, we haven't been stopped. We've stopped ourselves.
Love Pressured, flushed by his own teammate, Kenny Clark. And a flag is thrown as the pass is incomplete. Ineligible downfield on Green Bay is the indication. So the pass was incomplete. It would be 3rd and 6 if he declined the penalty or push him back for second.
Ineligible player illegally downfield. Offense number 75. That penalty's been declined. It's 3rd down.
Interesting, it is 4-down territory, but he'll keep it at 3rd down and a half dozen.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say this was an RPO, but I wasn't so sure that it wasn't a little bit messed up. It was an RPO. He pulls it down, and then that allows those offensive linemen at a certain time, they have to go downfield, and they're going to make that block. But for Ryan, that one hurt.
So the Packers have 2 plays to get just over 6 yards.
All up.
This game going, and is Dallas taking their final timeout? Let's see.
They were showing heavy blitz pre-snap. I hate that timeout happened. I was looking forward to watching that.
So Dallas is now out of timeouts. Again, it doesn't matter for challenges because overtime, all the challenges are initiated by the booth or the replay center in New York. I love this new overtime format. This is so much fun, isn't it?
It really is, and it's honestly what it should be.
Absolutely.
It was so unfair before. One team could take it, go down, score a touchdown, and that was the end of the game. It seems silly. So the league is, and let's give some credit too. The kickoff rule has really improved the game.
Yes.
It just has.
Let me come back to what you said at the start of the game. Yeah, this whole Micah Parsons trade. We don't know who's going to win that trade 2, 3, 4 years down the road. But a win for Dallas tonight in this atmosphere and environment would be huge going forward with momentum for them.
And here they go. I think they are showing that same blitz again. Let's see if they pull out of it.
3rd and 6. They're bringing 5. Love's putting it up top towards Wicks. Comes back. Packers want a flag. They get nothing. Incomplete. We're down to 1 play to keep the game going.
This is a blitz and throw it up in the air, and there's Wicks, and let's take a look. When I first saw it, I thought it was interference. Hard to tell whether it was Bland's arm that pulled him down, but
Wicks initiates with the first 2 hands on Bland.
wow, close. Let's just call it close.
No doubt. So here we go. Got to get the first down to keep the game going. 4th and 6, and Green Bay will
First
take.
time out of overtime, Green Bay. 40 seconds.
Good sweaty palm stuff here.
Well, we have seen in some key moments, not always, but Jordan Love does have the ability to take off. And if you spread it out enough, that creates double opportunities. It creates an opportunity to either get the pass in or you create some space for your quarterback to run. So this is that moment. I mean, it really is for the Green Bay Packers. This is one they had to feel pretty good about coming in here, and they are 1 play away from walking away with a loss.
Emmanuel Wilson's the back. 4th down to keep the game alive.
No pressure out of Dallas.
Here's Love, gotta have at least 6. Puts it up, it is double caught and a first down. Matthew Golden able to hang on, 38-yard line.
And one of the things they told us about Matthew Golden is he probably has the strongest, best hands on the team.
Yep.
And there it was in the clutch. He had the confidence to reach those hands out and make that catch. Anytime you've got a rookie and you're going to that guy when you gotta have it, that tells you something.
Everyone, that was line 1. Great hands on 0. He keeps the game alive. It's an inside run with Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson gets close to the 47-yard line. 3:05 to go. Green Bay trying to get in range.
And Mike, emotionally for a defensive team, you're 1 play away, right? You're thinking, we make this stop, we go home, we party, we celebrate, we beat Micah Parsons, and then they hit the first down. Now you got to regroup. Now you've got to piece it all back together and try to get it to that 4th down again.
Green Bay taking its time here. 1 timeout remaining. Love again inside. Give Wilson into the secondary to the 40-yard line. The yards coming in bigger chunks on the ground with Emmanuel Wilson for 13.
You know, Wilson really wasn't much of a factor for this team until last week, and he got a bunch of opportunities at 48 yards rushing, and thank goodness he's been in there tonight for Josh Jacobs. He's done a job.
There's a 2-minute warning in overtime, and we'll come here. Packers sitting on, for the moment, a 58-yard field goal. Of course, you want to score and win the game, a touchdown. Field goal, you don't want to give the ball back to Dallas.
And they can do it because Dallas now out of timeouts.
Green Bay driving at the 40-yard line. It remains Emmanuel Wilson as the back. Dallas bringing an extra rusher. It's thrown inside and caught. Nice move, slithering by his Wicks to the 25-yard line. Goes Dontavian Wicks. He's got a Packer first down. 1:45 to go here in OT.
Yeah, they brought the blitz that time with Reddy Stewart, but he was so far away, he really could not impact the play. I think he's right out here. He's going to try to come in, but look how far away that is. And basically the ball is gone before he has any chance. So now you're creating a void in that zone defense, trying to get there, but the timing of it wasn't good enough.
Green Bay 1 timeout left. 80 seconds left in OT. 25, Love slant again. 6 yards on that one. To the 19-yard line goes Dobbs.
I think we know who his favorite receiver is. You know, and you know, don't forget that Christian Watson's out, Jaden Reed's out. I mean, there are good receivers that are going to be coming back on this Packers team.
4, it is Wilson running left. Emmanuel Wilson trying to get to the outside. It's a good tackle by Donovan Wilson. Or else Emmanuel could have gone a long way. Now 40 seconds left. Do the Packers take a shot or two at the end zone to try to win it here?
And they know exactly who the kicker is for the Dallas Cowboys.
1st and 10 at the 12. Love gets it out. Big hit on Golden. Trayvon Diggs all over it. Loss of 3. And the clock is stopped. Final timeout of the Packers at 28 seconds.
That's his second one. Watch Diggs just come flying up. He's going to read Love, who has to turn all the way around. The minute he does, he runs right past the block on the outside to make that play. Because he read it so much faster than Dobbs saw him coming, he was able to split that gap. Big time play.
You can get a first down inside the 3, but you got a couple of shots for the win here. And then the 4th down field goal would tie, and you'd leave here with a tie.
You also have a clock to think about.
Yeah.
You know, so plenty of time right now. You could still complete the ball in the middle of the field, run up, down the ball, and have at least one more play.
2nd and 13, 28 seconds to go. Cowboys bring 4. Love outlets it. Wilson is stopped in the field of play at the 16 with 21 left. Now it's 3rd down. As it runs down to 13 seconds, they're going to have to leave themselves time for a field goal attempt here. Down to 7 seconds left. As Love takes the snap.
The game right here.
It's better be quick. Love to the end zone. It is broken up with 1 second to go.
That was so poorly managed. They almost lost the game before they had a chance to tie it.
And also lucky that that ball bounces where it hit, because the clock stops once it hits something there. Incomplete. If he just put that out of the back of the end zone, they would have run out of time. So McManus is on for the game-time field goal.
I mean, once you get down inside of 10 seconds, anything can happen. Love could have scrambled around. He gets the ball out of his hands, but my goodness, that was terrible.
Here is McManus for the tie from 34. And this one is good, and this one ends in the 2nd highest scoring tie game in NFL history. 40-40. Each team got it once. Each team got a field goal. Wow. And all you can do is just all right, that's it. No more.
That was fun. You know, sometimes you're just happy to be invited to the party.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, great. Pretty cool.
What up, baby?
Boy, that would have been unbelievable for the night that Jordan Love had. To have that thing come down to that play. And you know what he was thinking. He didn't want to spike the football, right?
Right.
Because then he would have had to kick